Hi, everybody. Welcome in. DJ Yoakley here live from the Athletic Studios here in Columbiana. So excited to be able to bring you the following interview, which is a guy that we have crossed paths a long time ago. But over time, we've seen that the vision that each of us has had, even though that started out as a separate course, has come together and is stronger than ever. A guy named Rob Johnson, who is just bleeds Louisville blue. And over the last week or so, and especially last night, as this is recorded, Rob was honored with an award that he's going to tell you all about, and a guy that again I can't tell you how much Louisville runs through his veins, up and down. And most of us, when we bleed red, but this guy, it's all blue all the time. So, ladies and gentlemen, this time let's hear it straight from the man, the award winner, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Rob Johnson. How are you, dude?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you, DJ. I appreciate it. Um, yeah, I mean, it was a pretty humbling experience. Um, you know, obviously, you know how much I love Louisville and I love the Leopards and the Louisville City Schools in my community. So, yeah, to be recognized like that was a pretty humbling experience.
When we first crossed paths, you told me I love this town. There's nothing about this town that I will ever want to walk away from. And I'm like, okay, yeah, everybody says that. And then you and I kind of we have a nice conversation, a come to Jesus moment, if you will. And then
Right.
all of a sudden, you and I working on in under YSN, under the banner for the network. And then I see firsthand not only how hard you work, but how much you actually do love Louisville. What is it about Louisville, Rob, that just has always been something that you're passionate about?
Well, for one thing, I mean, and you know, DJ, because you kind of do the same thing. It's home. It's where you're from. It's generations and generations of leopards and Louisville people from the community, the Ville, as we like to call it at home. But it's just one of those things. My dad, my grandpa, all of us were involved with Louisville and the athletics and stuff over here, and it's you know everybody comes together in so many different ways, and it's not even just whether it's Friday night or whatever with the teams, but all the events and the community things that happen over here.
It's funny for me because we always say, where you find a will, you find a way. And I guess the new modification of that in Louisville, and especially knowing you and your all the challenges that you typically go through to put on a broadcast. If you can't find a will, find a Rob, because he's going to
Right.
get it taken care of. Uh, for you to have this award, I mean, did you have a chance to yet step back and say, look at all of those troubleshooting moments, those moments where maybe you didn't think you were going to get a broadcast on, those moments that somebody told you weren't going to do something successfully, and yet the school honors you as essentially the voice of the Leopards. And have you had a moment to kind of take all that in to soak it in?
A little bit, not a lot, because you know how hard and how fast I go after it.
Yep.
It's one of those things. Obviously, broadcasting, anything can happen at any moment. You try to do the best you can, and at the end of the day, I try to think about the kids and how much love I love for those kids. Um, and just to be named like that, it's just so wow, and then to be able to, you know, team up with you guys over at YSN and just make things bigger and bigger and bigger. It's just I can't say enough. It's
I
like I
don't know. Yeah, I don't know how you're almost like in three places at once. I mean, when I see some of your schedules that you create for yourself, I'm like, how is he going to do that? But I guess the more important question, Rob, is why do you want to do that? I mean, most people will do this either because they want a job in broadcasting or because they've got kids involved. That's usually the top two. You don't really need a job in broadcasting. You don't really have any kids involved. It really is just about a passion for the town that you grow up in and you love so much. Why is it that you continue to wake up and pound the drum for the Leopards and Leopard Nation?
Well, for one thing, you know, I love Louisville's Louisville as a whole. And when we lost the Louisville Herald over here, we really lost our way to communicate for the betterment of Louisville. We lost the ability to have our kids shine in so many different ways. And, for me to be able to get out there and just do a little bit of what I can do to try and, you know, get a little more exposure for the kids and get their names recognized. I mean, that means all the world to me. I mean, if by what I do gets one extra kid a year or a scholarship or something like that, then I'm all in. You know what I mean?
Oh, I do. 100%. You are preaching to the choir, my friend, when it comes to that stuff. We're so incredibly proud of you, and I appreciate the time. Obviously, got a couple more questions for you before we let you go.
That's all right.
When you are on that stage, or whenever you're sitting there during this, what was it, a banquet or just a
Well,
meeting? What was it?
actually, it was a honors award assembly, and I was actually videotaping it for the school.
So you're working.
Yeah.
That's
So
apropos.
I was actually back on the headsets, and they started talking about this award, and then all of a sudden they started talking about setting up cameras at games and doing this and how I show up, hour or two early before games when I can and so forth. And then all of a sudden I'm like, wait a minute, who? And then all of a sudden they're like Rob Johnson, and I'm like, all right. It was cool. It was really cool.
So in a moment like that, I mean, obviously there's a lot of surprise. There's an element of surprise. There's an element of probably, I don't want to say embarrassment. That's not the right word, but you're kind of like, oh my gosh, like
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
a lot of emotions stirring up in you. What when you go back and you kind of replay that in your head, what stands out to you the most? Was it the fact that maybe the OHSAA presented this to you? Was it the fact that Louisville and Terry Horn were in on this, as great of an athletic director as there is, I believe, in this area, this region? I mean, talk to me about the emotions that were flowing through you when your name was announced.
Well, I think it was a little bit of everything, DJ. As we sat there, and when it's you're kind of walking up there, you're thinking about things. You know, Terry's been great with me. I mean, the communication this year and the things that she's done is remarkable, especially this spring, how they get things to happen still with so many
Right.
rainouts. But to have the Louisville community recognize me and the OHSAA, I mean, all of them in general. But when you're recognized by your hometown, and I was actually lucky, as this was also part of our Hall of Achievement. Um, Joseph French, who was graduate a couple years before me, and Lauren Muscati, who is a Nashville-based singer and songwriter. So to even be in the same room with them was pretty awesome.
Oh, that's fantastic. I mean, Louisville people, because we're based out of Youngstown for the most part, but Louisville has been a part of our family seemingly forever. I mean, we've had
Right.
people that hey, we need you here, we need you here, and then we got in there, and then obviously there was a what, a 6 month period that it
Right.
was a rocky place.
Yeah.
But you were the linchpin. You were one of the main linchpins that said, "Hey, I believe YSN could help us in this situation."
Oh,
Um,
100%.
so, I mean, for you, we've been on different sides, on different sidelines. Basically coaching against each other,
Right.
and now
Right.
we're on the same sideline. For you, what was it about the YSN and Louisville connection that really spoke to you and said, "Hey, I think I'd like to be part of this"?
Well, part of it was the fact that when you and I sat and talked, um, it wasn't an ego thing. It wasn't a hey, you or this or that. You and I had the opportunity to sit down, man to man, talk, and said, hey, you know, why don't we work together, or whatever. And we put our differences aside and said, let's do this for the kids. And that's what the most important thing is, it's all about the kids, and it's all about what we can provide them. And, you know, between my love for the leopards and the things that YSN has the ability to bring to the table, I think it was an excellent marriage.
No,
And
we're so excited, Rob, for you to be part of our team and a big part of that, and winning awards, things that we never thought possible on our behalf, and we are so proud of you. We are
thank you.
incredibly proud of you, and not only the hard work that you've done in the past, but you continue to do your best work. Even though it's as great as it is, it's still ahead of you, my friend. I do believe that, and I'm so incredibly excited for the things to come for you. This is just the beginning. Rob Johnson, the OHSAA award winner for exemplary service in a community. Congratulations, my friend.
Thank you, DJ. I appreciate it so much. And I appreciate everything you guys do for us over here. I can't say enough. You guys do a great job. And I mean, you're always on point when I need your help too. So
You got it, buddy. We will see you very, very soon. Thanks so much for the time again.
no problem. Thank you, DJ.